Sunday night, 11:47 p.m. Your phone buzzes on the nightstand. You don't look at it for about 4 seconds. Then you look. Your associate. MD wants the comps refreshed by 9. Can you have the model updated by 6? You type, on it. You open your laptop in bed. The screen lights up the ceiling. Your girlfriend rolls over. She stopped asking what it is around month 3. This is every level of investment banking. One person, analyst to managing director, the whole way through. Analyst, you're 22. Total comp, $180,000 to $225,000. It's 1:47 a.m. The office has that specific hum it makes when it's just you and the cleaning crew. Fluorescent lights buzzing on a floor that was full 12 hours ago. There is a seamless bag on the corner of your desk. You ordered it at 8:30. It is now cold. You will eat it cold at 2:15 during a break between page 14 and page 31 of a pitch book a VP marked up at 10:48 p.m. with the subject line, comments. You learn in your first month that comments is a word that means rebuild half the deck tonight. Not tomorrow, tonight. The MD is presenting at 8:30 a.m. and the client will never know your name. First year all-in comp at a Bulge bracket, $180,000 to $220,000. Elite boutiques, Evercore, Centerview, PJT, push $230,000 and above. You are 22, earning more than both your parents. You have no time to spend it. Your savings account grows by accident because you haven't been inside a grocery store in 6 weeks. Now here's the math nobody puts on the story. $200,000 sounds enormous until you divide it by the hours. 80 hours a week, 50 weeks a year, that's 4,000 hours. $50 an hour before taxes. After federal, state, and city tax in New York, closer to $32. That's what you earn to build someone else's slides at 2 a.m. on a floor where the only other person is pushing a vacuum. In 2021, 13 first-year Goldman Sachs analysts built a PowerPoint about their own working conditions, the most on-brand act of protest in Wall Street history. 95 hours a week on average, 5 hours of sleep. 77% said they'd been victims of workplace abuse. One wrote, "I've been through foster care and this is arguably worse." Another, "Being unemployed is less frightening to me than what my body might succumb to if I keep up this lifestyle." Goldman's response? Protected Saturdays. In practice, that means you probably won't get a new request before noon on Saturday. But here's the thing that makes people stay. The Analyst program was never designed to be a career. It's a toll road. You pay with 2 years of your 20s and you get a ticket to private equity, hedge funds, venture capital. Most analysts leave within 3 years. They were never building a banking life. They were buying a resume line with their sleep. You check your phone again before you fall asleep, not to see if someone texted, to see if someone needs something. That is the entire distance between your life and everyone else's. Associate. You're 26. Total comp, $275,000 to $500,000. 2 doors into this room. The first, promoted directly from analyst. The industry calls it A to A. You have 2 years of scar tissue and can format a pitch book in your sleep. The second, you just finished an MBA that cost $200,000. You have a theory of capital markets that does not include knowing where the printer is. The gap between those two on a live deal at 1 a.m. is not a gap. It is a gulf. Hours. 60 to 75 a week. Still brutal by civilian standards, but the texture is different. You delegate now. You mark up the analyst's model and send it back with comments. You are the comments now. That transition happened without ceremony. Comp: $275,000 to $400,000 at Bulge brackets, $350,000 to $500,000 at elite boutiques. But this is where a new mechanic kicks in. 20 to 30% of your bonus is now deferred, restricted stock, or cash that vests over 3 years. Leave before it vests, and you leave it on the table. The golden handcuffs clip on at this level. You don't feel them until you try to move your arms. And here's where a second set of math starts running. You're 27. You look at your private equity friends making $300,000 base plus carry. You look at your consulting friends working 50-hour weeks and skiing on weekends. You run the numbers on staying versus leaving. That calculation is the investment banking equivalent of checking your bank balance at 3 a.m. It never produces a clean answer, and you will run it every 6 months for the rest of your career.
You still check your phone on Sunday nights, but now you're also the one sending the text. You just messaged an analyst at 11:30 p.m. and felt nothing about it. You have become the buzz. Vice President. You're 31. Total comp, $500,000 to $800,000. Everyone below you thinks VP is where it gets easier. It's where it gets harder, in a way that doesn't show up in the hours. You are the project manager of every deal. Every model, every number gets reviewed by you before it goes upstairs. If something wrong reaches the client, the analyst made the error. You own it. Hours: 55 to 70. But here's the identity crisis nobody prepares you for. You built your career being the best technician in the room, the fastest modeler. Now they want you to take clients to dinner, to sell. That is a fundamentally different human skill, and it doesn't come naturally to someone who spent 8 years proving their value through Excel. VP is where the bank finds out what you are, executor or rainmaker. They pay you the same for now. In 5 years, the gap becomes a canyon. Let me show you the handcuff math. By VP, your unvested deferred comp, stock and cash you can see but cannot touch, is around $300,000 to $400,000. If you leave in March, you forfeit it. Wait until September, you forfeit less. You are running arithmetic on the optimal month to quit a job you're not sure you want to quit. The bank designed a number exactly painful enough to make you stay 1 more year, and then 1 more. A former VP who spent nearly a decade in banking said some of her worst financial decisions happened during that exact period. When her salary jumped, spending stopped feeling like spending. She didn't invest for years. She didn't realize how dependent she'd become on the income until she tried to leave. The salary is not the problem. The salary was never the problem. Your phone doesn't buzz on Sunday night anymore. It buzzes at a kid's birthday party on a Saturday afternoon. A client texted. You step outside to call back. Your spouse watches you through the window and says nothing. The silence is louder than the phone ever was. Director. You're 36. Total comp, $600,000 to $1.2 million. The least discussed level. Most content about this career skips from VP straight to MD. Directors are the middle children of Wall Street, and like all middle children, they hold things together while nobody notices. You are expected to originate, not support the MD's client relationships, build your own. Can you sit across from a CFO and make them trust you with a $2 billion transaction? That is the only question this level answers. Comp becomes the most variable it's ever been. A strong director in a hot coverage group can clear $1 million. An average one at a mid-tier firm sits at $600,000. Same title, same hours. The spread exists because revenue attribution is now the only metric, and it is not kind. Here's the part that creeps up on you.
Not everyone who makes director makes MD. You can sit at this level for 4 years, generate decent revenue, do solid work, and watch the seat above you stay occupied. The path doesn't narrow, it bottlenecks. You take a potential client to dinner on a Thursday. You rehearsed your pitch in the car. You order the wine he likes. You talk for 2 hours. At the end, he shakes your hand and says, "Great catching up." No mandate, no follow-up. You drive home and your spouse asks how it went and you say, "Good," because explaining what just happened would require admitting you spent 8 weeks building a relationship that produced a handshake and a $400 dinner tab. That is origination. Most of it looks like failure until the one night it doesn't. And this is the last exit. After director, the identity is total. Corporate development, PE operating partners, a handful of CFO seats. Those doors are open now. By MD, the menu shrinks to another bank or start your own shop. That's it. You don't check your phone anymore. You check your pipeline, a mental ledger of every relationship, every mandate, every fee that might close this quarter. The anxiety left your inbox and moved into your skull. That is not an improvement. Managing Director. You're 41. Total comp. $1 million to $5 million and above. You walk into your kitchen on a Tuesday morning and make coffee. You are a managing director at an investment bank. Nothing about the kitchen is different. Nothing about the coffee is different. Your job, reduced to its simplest form. Find deals, win deals, close deals. Everything below you, the analysts, the models, the all-nighters, the cold, seamless bags at 2 a.m., was infrastructure. You are the revenue. Everyone else is cost. Comp. $1 million to $3 million at Bulge brackets. Rainmaker MDs at elite boutiques. $3 million to $5 million and above. But 30 to 50% of that is deferred stock. Your net worth is tethered to your bank's share price, which you cannot control, and you check it on Saturday mornings the way you used to check your bank balance at 22.
The muscle came back. It's just wearing a nicer watch. Here's the part that should feel contradictory. MD is simultaneously the highest paid seat in the building and the least secure. You are the most expensive head on the floor. When deal volume drops, the bank does not cut 5 analysts at $200,000 each. It cuts one MD at $2 million. During the 2023 and 2024 correction cycles, every major bank ran layoffs. Industry recruiters describe directors as always at the highest risk. Non-producing MDs without a guarantee were right behind them. Leo Lukenas was 35, an associate, former Green Beret, father of 2. He joined Bank of America through a veterans program and landed in the Financial Institutions Group, working on a $2 billion deal. Colleagues described workloads exceeding 100 hours a week in the weeks before his death. He died on May 2, 2024, from a blood clot in his heart. A recruiter said Leo had told him he wanted to leave because of the hours. That is the background hum of this career. Not every floor, not every bank, not every year. But enough of them that the pattern is not an accident. And here's the thing nobody told you at 22. The stress at the top and the stress at the bottom are the same stress wearing different clothes. At Analyst, you asked, "Can I survive the hours?" At Associate, "Am I good enough to stay?" At VP, "Can I make the jump from executor to rainmaker?" At Director, "Will I get the seat before the window closes?" At MD, "Can I keep it?" Same nervous system, same Sunday night, different suit. So here's what you do with this. You're somewhere on this ladder, or you're standing at the bottom looking up.
Getting to the next level is not the hard problem. Knowing whether you should is. The question is, at which level does what you gain stop being worth what you trade for it? Not in the abstract. On a specific Tuesday, in a specific year of your life that you will not get to live twice. That's your number. And like every number in this career, nobody is going to calculate it for you.